It is most important, dear one, that it is not so much about the spiritual purpose. It is simply about what is the purpose for it. In, dear one, the divine plan of your universe, in the divine plan of your world, in the divine plan of your country, and the divine plan of you and your life. It is, as we just said, dear one, it is most important to look at your life. What is surfacing within you in relationship to what is transpiring in your world right now? What is most important to understand, dear one, is to, if you can, try not to put a label on what is transpiring in the world. Because what is transpiring in the world is simply transpiring in the world. It is what is just transpiring in this specific episode or this chapter in your soul's divine plan. So what is transpiring in your world in this episode, what is taking place in your life in this episode, in this chapter, that, dear one, is simply a way in which you can look at what is transpiring and then ask yourself, how am I responding or reacting to it? If in fact, dear one, it is important for you to open your heart space, to move into a new level of self-awareness, self-consciousness, self-mastery, it is simply about looking at what is transpiring in the world. And in step number one, ask yourself, what is surfacing inside of me? What is surfacing inside of me? What feelings are surfacing inside of me? And then begin to have those feelings and allow those feelings to move as you nurture those feelings. So in many ways, what many can begin to do now is begin to nurture themselves within themselves. Begin to nurture what is transpiring within them. And open their heart space to allow themselves to simply be where they are. But many, dear ones, are seeing that what had made them feel safe and secure and comfortable no longer exists. It's as if the illusion of their own life is being revealed. So for many, dear ones, as you utilize the term spiritual, is what is transpiring for many is that the norm of their life, or what they deemed their norm to be, is being revealed. Their addictions, perhaps, their attachments to the third dimensional realm, how they looked outside of themselves for their validation, their gratification, their identity, perhaps. Their identity coming from, what am I doing? What am I doing today? The only way I can feel alive is if I'm doing out in the world. If I keep on doing, then I feel alive. So what has transpired now, dear ones, and what is transpiring in your world, for many, the doing has been forced to stop. And many are being afflicted by reacting to the no longer being able to do. And as we've said to you many, many times before, dear ones, about being who you are and moving into a greater sense of your beingness, your soul beingness. And then look at what you have been doing. And then looking at that and seeing, have you been doing to avoid yourself? Have you been doing to gratify yourself? Have you been doing to prove to others who you are? Have you been doing to avoid being with yourself? So for many, their inordinate amount of doing has ceased. And they're being asked to be with themselves. It's about being with yourself. It's about allowing the feelings to to come up. And then ask yourself, where am I moving into fear of the unknown? Because what has been created for many is a vast unknown. A vast unknown in your life, a vast unknown in your world. As what is most important to understand, what is transpiring is now, is the old is being revealed. The old in the macrocosm and the old in the microcosm of your own life. Quite possibly the old in needing to do, to consistently need to do something so you'll feel valuable, so you'll be validated, gratified. So it is important, dear ones, to see the old in your life, the opportunity now to look at your life and ask yourself, what is old in my life? What are my attachments to the world outside of myself? Giving yourself chance to be. And seeing within that what makes you feel uncomfortable. What makes you feel uncomfortable. We'll say that one more time. What makes you feel uncomfortable. And the reason why we repeat that 3 times to you, dear ones, is because you're being asked to look at your comfort zones. So what is transpiring in the world today is upsetting your comfort zones. That is beginning to make you feel uncomfortable. And what is beginning to transpire is the uncomfortability of yourself being with yourself. So the question we have for each and every one of you, are you uncomfortable being with yourself? You will begin to see that your doing, and most of your doing, has been utilized to distract yourself from yourself. What you're being asked to do now, dear one, as you have asked, in the spiritual context of what is transpiring, is simply looking at yourself, looking at your feelings, looking at your life, quite possibly looking at what is most important for you, quite possibly nudging you, pushing you, and prodding you out of the comfort of your life and the illusion of the comfort of your life. Many now are feeling quite uncomfortable with what is transpiring in the world and with themselves. So it is important, dear ones, to look at what your attachments are to the world outside of yourself that perpetuated your inordinate amount of doing. Because what is transpiring now is asking you, dear ones, to simply be where you are and who you are, to learn more about you, to learn more about what is important for you, and to look at what is transpiring in the world and ask yourself the question, what is mine to do with importance that will allow this world that you live in to be and reflect a collective consciousness of peace, community, harmony, equality, love.